1st of April. I'm going to put these composts to the test that B&Q have volunteered and donated kindly again. So some of them I did last year, but I've got a couple of other ones to try out, and I'm also going to put my own. It's not really ready, it's quite stodgy, but we'll see what happens. This is just homemade compost from kitchen scraps, a little bit of tortoise bedding, some bits of straw that I took off like around my strawberries last year, which was on top of some of the potatoes. I just threw that in the compost bin. So there's all sorts of stuff in it. You know, it doesn't really crumble up quite the same. So I'll just have to be careful. It'll be okay. I'll get something out of it, but I don't know. I'm going to put some feed in all of them, even though some of them have already got some feed in. I'm just going to put about 2 ounces of bloodfish and bone meal in each one. I'm going to be using 30 litre pots, which are these, which you can buy online. I don't know if B&Q stock them or not, I don't know. I've just drilled some extra holes, some extra 20mm holes in the bottom, just for more drainage, because it's got some side holes, and it just allows some roots to go through. Because usually you'd rake the ground out a bit and bury them a couple of inches, but these are just going to go straight on top of the ground. And I'll probably mulch around them with some grass clippings, to be honest, just to, you know, keep that sort of bottom end covered. Going to be planting 4 potatoes on 2 layers, which you've seen me in any of my previous videos. You'll see me do. So I'll put the first 2 probably about this high, and the second 2 about this high. The idea is then, so they kind of get half a pot of compost each. First early is a variety of Swift. So we've got all these here. So we've got the obviously my homemade one. Then we've got the Westland multi-purpose compost with John Innes. I think I tried that one last year. It's a little bit different by the look of it. I think last year it was a little bit more gritty, it's more fibrous, but that's the peat reduction, you know, completely, because I think they're all peat free. B&Q, as far as I'm aware, are completely peat free now. And we've got this one. I've not tried this one before, Miracle Growth. You know, they put that in. I tried the New Horizon all vegetable compost last year, which was great for peppers. Not quite as good for potatoes, so I've got a bag of the New Horizon all plant compost, so we'll try that one for potatoes. I've got some container compost here, which is just verve, so it's container and basket compost. I've got some other ones. I've got like a rose and shrub one, but I'll probably use that for something else. So I'll put these 5 up, and I have got the one that I did in a previous video, which I think was in the Good Home, or it could have been in the Verve multi-purpose. So it's the same variety of potatoes, so there's no reason why that can't come into the challenge sort of thing, to see which one does well. I'm pretty much sure they'll all kind of be, you know, similar. I'm not expecting anything majorly wrong. The only thing I'm concerned about is the compost is quite wet. So I'm going to empty each bag out into the wheelbarrow, break it up, and leave it 20 minutes or so in the sun, just to try and get some of that moisture out of it, and give it a chance, because all the water's coming out the bottom. It's just because we had horrendous rainfall and that, and it's just been stored. So I should have pulled it out and put it in the sun a bit more, but it'll be okay, as long as it doesn't rot the seed potatoes off. So I'm not going to go into that, you know, sowing them and everything. I'll just get them planted up, and then we'll look back at them once they're all planted up, and I'll label them up. And they'll all get probably 90 to 100 days to grow. So you'll be looking at kind of, you know, end of June. And that we can do the reveal then. Kind of thinking, you know, 4 potatoes in a pot like this, anywhere between £5 and £7 of spuds would be good. You know, £1.50 to £2 per seed potato. It's kind of roughly what you want, but we shall see. They've all got feed in, supposedly, but I say I'm going to put some in my own, so I'm going to put the same in these as well. So it's just 2 ounces of bloodfish and bone meal, and that's it. And just going to water them as and when they need it. Got to watch out for frost, so I will be mulching the tops with straw. So we'll get them all planted up, and then we'll have a look back at them. Right, that's all then planted up. So there's 4 in each. The only thing I did do is at the bottom of the pots I put probably, you know, just a little bit of grass clippings, which is just basically what I raked out of the grass, just to block some of the holes up. Sorry about the noise, obviously someone's just trying to get some gardening done before the rain's due, because it is due to rain. So I'll come and get the camera, and we'll have a look at the sort of consistency of each one. They're not that different, to be honest. They're quite fibrous, as you'd expect. But I don't see any real issues. You know, one is particularly wetter. You know, we'll have a look at that now then. Right, we'll start with this. This is my homemade compost. There's bits of straw in it, tea bags and all sorts, dryer lint. It's just veg scraps, really. You know, there is blighted potato tops gone in there from last year, tomato plants, bean plants, all that lot, and then it was just covered up over winter. And as I say, it's not quite ready, but there isn't any worms in it as such, so it kind of tells me that they've done the bulk of the breaking down. But it'd be great to use a mulch on top of the soil. They'll come and take it down. You know, there's no harm in that way, but they should grow some spuds in there. And then we've got the Westland multi-purpose with John Innes. This one is nice and dark. It's obviously been composted at quite a high temperature. It's quite wet, but like I say, all of them have been in the wheelbarrow and I've given them a bang about. So I'm just going to try and keep them sort of covered away from the rain for a week or so. And then we've got this Miracle Grow one. And this one is very fibrous, but I do like it, to be honest. Something like that, peppers would do well in it, I think, personally. But I think peppers would do okay in all these. Not so much my homemade one, because I find peppers like the real fibrous stuff. Obviously these things, like, you know, feed pellets, they do look a little bit like worm eggs, to be honest. But that's the actual feed that's in there. And then we've got the Westland. This is the all plant. Quite a lot of grit in this. Quite dark again. You know, it's got a weird smell to it, this one. You know, like I said, it's very fibrous. So we'll just have to see how it goes for drying out and what it's like for watering up, you know, and shrinkage. But this is where we do the test. And this one is the container and basket one. And this was really wet. This is B&Q's one, this is Verve one. So I'm just hoping the potatoes don't rot off in this, because there's still a few worms in it. There's grit in it, so it's very similar to that one. But we can only try. And hopefully the spuds don't rot off inside there. And we shall see what we get. Right, well that's all then finished. Just a case of leaving to do the thing now. I'm sure we'll get a crop. Very rarely anything really goes drastically wrong, you know, blight or something like that. I just need to watch it because I had squirrel problems and obviously cat problems, but squirrels tend to come along and they bury nuts in and dig it up. But I don't mind, you know, I can just, you know, deal with that as it happens. There's a little bit of compost left in each bag. Apart from the Miracle Grow, I've used all that. So if I've got any left and they sink down, I'll top them up. This will sink down a bit, so I can just top it up with some of my own. Like I say, they're all going to get mulched eventually with some straw, but they need to dry out a little bit first. And obviously, as the foliage starts coming through, you've got to protect them from frost. You know, because there's still a possible frost for the next sort of 7 or 8 weeks. You know, this is northwest England near Blackpool. I've had frost right into the middle of May, so it tends to be my last frost date, middle of May. So I've just got to be careful and watch the weather. But like I say, I've labelled them all. On the back I've got a number, so they're numbered 1 to 5. You know, in case this scuffs off, there's a number on the back. So thanks for watching, take care, and big thank you to B&Q for participating in this and donating the compost. And hopefully it's something that, you know, we can keep on trying out as new brands come, and now we're going on the change over to peat free. But I can test it all out. Like I say, you can check back in one of my previous videos on the potatoes I planted in the other pot. The only difference was there were seed potatoes with my own from last year, but they're grown in B&Q's compost as well. So I'll probably bring them into this part of this sort of result, you know, because it is. I think it was either the Verve multi-purpose or it was the Good Home multi-purpose. It was either one of them two. I can't remember offhand, but the results will be the same. There's 4 seed potatoes in a 30-litre pot, exactly the same. You know, and I'll put a link for the video below, so you can see actually how I plant the tubs. You know, because I put 2 potatoes in line with the handles, and then the other 2 across. So obviously the first ones are down here, second ones are up here. You know, just so because it's just so it uses up all the compost. Otherwise, you plant them down there, you're only using that bottom bit of compost. You know, when you want to use it all. And you plant them offset so the other plants can come through, and it tends to work okay. Like I say, if you get, you know, £5-6, you know you've done all right. You know, if you get £4, it doesn't matter. You know, it's like, especially if you're using homemade compost, because it's not cost you anything. You know, but like I say, you've got to try different ones, and certain things prefer different types of compost. Like I found roots like the real kind of loam based off the trials I did last year, and peppers like the fibrous stuff. Now all these are fairly fibrous, so but weights weren't massively different, if you know what I mean. Like I say, if I keep them watered, I'm not going to water one especially more than the other one, otherwise it is about moisture retention as well. You've got to put it to the test, because you don't want to be buying a certain compost where you've got to keep watering it all the time. You know, the idea is let it do its thing and just maintain the moisture. So on that note, thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you next video. See you now, bye bye.